Again, bend your knees, feet as wide as the mat, knees rest in towards each other. Let's help soften the space in between our ears. Interlace your hands behind your head, elbows wide. Inhale, and as you exhale, elbows close together. Your hands lift your heavy head. Let your head go. Lifting up, chin slightly towards chest, and then lift your tailbone slightly. On the inhale, drop the tailbone, slowly lower the head and elbows wide. 3 more times like that. Elbows, lift your head, lift the tailbone, and inhale, slowly lowering down. A couple more times, rhythm of your own breath, softening your forehead and your face. Sometimes we are in our heads so much that we don't drop down into our bodies. And slowly releasing, hands by your sides, feet together without using your hands. One knee into the chest, then the other. Now the hands, and begin to rock it forward and back, with or without hands, forward and back. Even pat the ground. As you reach the top, 4 more times, own breath. And our last round, let's meet hands and knees. Hands and knees, sweep the feet around. Prep the wrist. Coming onto your hands and knees, flip your fingertips to face the outer edges of the mat or towards your knees, shoulder width apart for less intensity, knees and fingertips closer together. We'll circle our entire body for this one. So as you circle your body to the right, bring your hips back and the heels of the hands lift a little bit. Then circle to the left, circle forward, heels of the hands to the ground. 2 more times this direction. Relaxing the shoulders. So it's really important to prep the wrists, switch directions before any weight bearing. But this is also a nice way to balance out our habitual everyday living, especially being on the computer. Center, fingertips forward, flip onto the back of the hands. I know we all miss this one. Shoulders from the ears. Again, less intensity, knees and fingertips closer together. Make fist on your exhale. And inhale, open the palms 6 to 8 times. You also have an option to do 1 at a time. So you do about 3 to 4 on each side. Relax the shoulders. Last round, stand on your knees, peel the hands away, circle the wrists a couple times each direction. Shake it out, shake it up, shake it down. 1 more time. And hands and knees, we will meet. Hands and knees, a couple rounds of cat-cows. Round through the spine, and then we're gonna mix it up a little bit. Coming into cow, melt the spine and the heart towards the ground, let your head drop. Round the spine like a cat, but then lift the back of the skull slightly. Embrace it upward. And melt the spine to the ground, let the head drop. Creating different habits, new ways of moving to balance out our everyday linear living. I'll do 2 more. Pause in any of those shapes that feel good. I like the cow one. Let my head hang a little bit more. Neutral. Then bring your feet together, knees together. Bring your hips back. Sweep your arms back. Forehead to block book or the ground. Again, another opportunity to find power in the pause. Again, sensing your breath, noticing your sense of aliveness flowing within you. I like this shape to look inward and also to notice where my breath is flowing again more easily, not as easily, without, again, any judgments, any expectations. And slowly make your way on up, sitting on your heels. Couple shoulder rolls back. And let's wake up the side body again, architecturally creating more space for ourselves and our breath. Walk your left fingertips to the left, but keep your hips heavy. Reach the right arm up and then lean on over. You can even slide your left fingertips more to the left. Lean to the left. Let your hips lean to the right. Just soften your left shoulder away from your ear. Breathe into the spaces in between your ribs, this area of self-worth and self-value. Gaze could be up, sideways, or down. You can think of the breath softening the spaces in between your ribs to help accommodate the expansion of your lungs, the expansion of your rib cage. On your next inhale, slowly lifting up with the right hand up and to the right, and we'll switch sides, sliding the right hand to the right, but make sure the hips are still leaning to the left. Left arm up, lean on over, softening right shoulder away from your ear. A couple extra glorious moments to receive a full, nourishing breath, invigorating yet nourishing. Again, gaze could be down, whatever feels good for your neck. Forward or up for another 3, 2, and 1. Lifting the left fingertips up and to the left to bring you back on up. Keep the spine nice and long. Now turn to the right and lay your belly button over your right thigh. And we'll come into a different variation of a child's pose. So belly button over the right thigh. Spin your left ribs more towards the ground. Left sitting bone heavy to left heel. And breathing into the back body. And of course, just like we did the side body, especially the left side. As you allow the left sitting bone to be heavier towards the left heel, you may feel more of a stretch in the outer left armpit for another 3, 2, and 1. Walk your hands to center. Walk your hands back until you are sitting on your heels. Again, lengthen through the spine, spin to the left, belly button over your left thigh. The diagonal. Hips lean more to the right, right sitting bone heavy to right heel. Let your head fall wherever it likes. Breathing into the back of the waist, especially the back of the right waist. Breathing into the spaces in between your ribs. Making more space for you. For another 3, 2, and 1. Hands walk to center. Shift the weight forward now onto your hands and your knees. Separate your knees and your feet hip width. Circle your ankles. Twinkle your toes. Wiggle it around. Wiggle your tail side to side. Or I like to keep my feet lifted and spin along my knees. Wag my tail. Spine in center, curl the toes under. Now round the spine, keep those toes tucked under. Keep the roundness in the spine, bring the hips back. 2 more times like that. Inhale, forward, neutral spine, round, and bring the hips back. 1 more time, forward, neutral, round, hips come back for 3, stay here, 2, 1, slide the hands back towards your hips, and now we're in toe breaker pose. Eyeballs might be popping out. Stay here or fingertips down, or if you're upright, interlace your hands behind your back. And bend your elbows slightly, lift the armpits, drop your sitting bones, pull your hands energetically apart, and then lift the fist a little bit away from your back body. Back the skull nice and long for another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing, walk the hands forward. And again, Circle the ankles, twinkle the toes. As always, pat up your knees if you need. Suffering is optional. Okay, tops of the feet. We'll do a bird dog variation. Now we enter our pockets of fire. So wrists below the shoulders. As always, meet yourself where you are. Bend the elbows slightly to the side. So the elbow creases will turn slightly in towards each other, like you're about to do a sort of push-up. Keep that, shoulder blades onto your back as you hug the elbows in towards each other, like you're scooping ice cream or holding onto a giant beach ball. Keep that straight in the arms, belly and ribs in. Broaden through the collarbones. Press to the tops of the feet, knees, and the hands. Reach your left arm forward. It's a different way than we normally come into bird dog. Reach your right leg back. Belly and ribs in, stay here, or right leg to the right, left arm to the left in a diagonal, and then exhale, bring it to the center. Do that about 5 to 6 more times. Own breath. All good to dance. Keep the back of the skull nice and long. Belly and ribs in. Keep hugging that outer left hip in and back. Right. There's a tendency to push the body back. Keep reaching the heart forward. Maybe one more. And after your last round, left hand down, right knee down. Either wag your tail or stand up on your knees and rinse cycle. Let the arms swing side to side. Forward again onto your hands and knees. This time, again, set up, spread the fingers wide, press through your inner hands especially. Bend the elbows wide and scoop the elbows in, straighten the arms, belly and ribs in. Reach your right arm forward, pause. Press to the top of the right foot, right knee, and reach the left leg back. Now you can stay here or 6 to 8 times, right arm to the right, left leg to the left. Bring it back on in. Keep broadening through that left collarbone. I know my left shoulder loves to sneak forward. Belly and ribs in. Make sure you're not dumping into your lower back. Relax your jaw. Think about 2 to 3 more. Unhurried, unrushed. And last one. We'll meet hands and knees. Woo, wag the tail. Good stuff. Or you can stand on your knees. I love the rinse cycle of swinging my arms. All right, we'll play around with a different variation of that. Hands and knees. Bend the elbows slightly to the side. Hug the elbows in. Keep that straight in the arms. And this time, curl the toes under. Reach your right leg back. Stay here or lift the left knee to hover. For 3, 2, we'll make our way into a 3-legged down dog. 1, lengthen the left leg, right leg up. We're going to alternate with that. So on your inhale, as the shoulders come forward, bend the left knee either down to the ground or to hover. And then straighten the leg again, 3-legged down dog. 2 more times like that. Lower to hover or lower all the way down. And lift up. 1 more time. Lower to hover all the way down. And nice lift back on up. Now, turn the left side of your pelvis to the right. So now you have a little bit more opening through the right hip. Bend the right knee, right heel hugs in to the right side of your seat. Pressing your hands evenly down into the ground and drop your tailbone more to the front plane of your body. Now you're going to stay here, or if you want to play with your down dog, you can begin to spin onto the outer edge of your left foot. Keep that right knee bent. It's nice to have a wall behind me. And then you can lift your right arm up. Oh, I like the wall. For another 3, 2, and 1. Woo, slowly landing. Both feet down. Pedal it out, pedal it out. And hands and knees will meet again. If you want, stand on your knees. Swing those arms. Shake it out. Even flutter your lips. All right, hands and knees. Yay for having another side. Spread the fingers wide, elbows bend wide, scoop the giant beach ball, press the ground away as you straighten arms, belly and ribs in, tuck the toes under, left leg reaches back, lift the right knee to hover. This side might be feeling a little bit different. And then straighten out the right leg, left leg up to the sky, three-legged down dog. Couple more times. Inhale, lower the knee all the way down or to hover, broaden through the collarbones, and then straighten. One more. Lower, hover, and straighten. Turn the right side of your pelvis to the left. So you're initiating the turning open, not from the top hip, but from the bottom hip. Then bend the left knee. Left heel hugs into your bottom. Drop your tailbone to the front plane of your body and press evenly through both hands. Extend out from the base of your heart. You're going to stay here or begin to roll the outer edge of your right foot as you shift the weight forward. So right wrist slightly in front of right shoulder. Play for 3, 2, and 1. Both hands and feet down. Nice work. Shake it out, pedal it out, and lower down to your knees. Stand on your knees. Swing the arms. Woo. I love those pockets of fire. Okay, for this next one, you may need a blanket because we'll practice those fun and sometimes awkward transitions from kneeling to standing on our knees to kneeling to standing. So bring the blanket somewhere in the middle of your mat. And we'll meet in toe breaker pose. Toe stretch pose. Want to be more compassionate. And then using the bottom fibers of your glutes and bringing your tailbone more forward, stand up on your knees. And then do that a couple times. Lower and lift. This is pretty much bridge pose, except in a different relationship to space. Okay, and then the next round, as you lower the hips. Now you could use the fingertips in front first, pop up those knees, and then lower them down. And stand on your knees. And this time add the arms, press the palms back. Fingertips down as the hips lower down, pop the knees up, lower them down, and stand back up. 2 more times like that before we add on. Lift, lower, bottom fibers of your glutes. And then if you want, you can begin to bring the arms forward and then lower the knees as mindfully as you can, stand back up. And whatever variation you like with the arms, I like to swing my arms forward and then swim them back. 1 more time. Embrace an awkward. Or you can keep the arms in front the whole time. This time, as the knees lift, you're gonna keep your arms forward, lift up a little, lower the heels down, and then press down to the heels. Finally, we stand. Shake it out. Squat down, fold up the blanket, put it to the side, and then we'll walk to the top of the mat. Shake it all out. Maybe like shake out my belly, my hips, my shoulders. Okay, at the top, placing your feet pelvis width apart. Close your eyes or soft gaze, another opportunity to pause as we reorientate ourselves in space now that we are standing. You can take one hand to your heart, one to your belly like we did in the beginning. Noticing your feet on the earth and noticing the breath flowing within you. Feeling your sense of aliveness. Again, with the intention to create space for our sense of aliveness to flow evenly within our body and also to support us from the inside out. Release your arms at your sides, open your eyes if they were closed, root down, rise up. And then interlace your fingers, release index fingers and thumbs. Another opportunity to take up space and claim space. Tahina jar. 4 times around each direction, acknowledging our sense of the space around us, and in a way, taking up space, claiming it with our movement through space. And after your last round, separate the hands. You could gaze up if you want. On your exhale, hands to your heart, hinging at the hips, softness in the back of the knees, fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to for hands to come down to the ground for this variation. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips can slide higher up on your shins to activate more of the back body. And as you exhale, left foot will step back. Use a blanket if you need. Lower the left knee down just for a moment. Hug the legs in towards each other. Sweep your arms up. Lift the frontal hip points. And on your next exhale, hands to the ground. Lift the back knee up, or you can keep the back knee down in the transition if you need. Plank pose. Right foot meets the left. Squeeze those elbows in. Straighten those arms. Moment of stillness. Even though we're holding plank, there's still an undercurrent of breath. Feel how hard your upper body's working, and now ask your belly and your legs to do the same amount of work for another 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knees down and then come down, reaching the heart slightly forward, all the way down, forehead down, tops of the feet down. You can slide your hands more forward or keep them where they are for a cobra pose. Press the tops of the feet down, back of the skull long. And as you exhale, slowly lowering down. Curl the toes under first. Drop the tailbone, lift belly and ribs, and then press yourself away. So it's a supported plank pose. Then downward facing dog. Pedal it out if you need. Lift your heels, bend your knees. And now step your left leg forward, back knee down. Hug the legs in towards each other. Sweep your arms up, lift the frontal hip points. And on your next exhale, fingertips forward. And step to the front of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift, press the feet down, lengthen the ribs forward. Nice exhale and forward fold. Root down, rise up, extended. And exhale, hands to your heart. Sweep the arms up, inhale. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, press feet down, lengthen the spine. Right foot back. Lower the back knee down. Hug the legs in towards each other. Sweep it up. On your next exhale, lower the hands. Back knee lift, step it back into plank and pause and breathe here. Lengthen the spine. Press the hands and feet down. And energetically pull your hands towards your feet and breathe for another 3, 2, and 1. Knees lower down. And shift the weight slightly forward, all the way down, and coming into your cobra. Again, you can slide the hands more forward and wider for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Curl your toes under, drop the tailbone, engage the bottom fibers of your glutes, and then push yourself back on up, and then downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step your right foot forward, back knee down, sweep on up, and on your next exhale, fingertips down, step to the front of the mat, halfway lift, forward fold, and now reach out, rise up, extended, and exhale, hands to your heart. Pause and notice. Keep the feet hip width apart, or bring your feet together, knees together as you come into a chair pose variation. Interlace your fingers behind your back the awkward way, so it feels like you're holding on to someone else's hand. Bring more weight into your heels. Pull your hands energetically apart, broaden into the collarbones, and lift the fists lightly a little bit away from your hips. And then begin to squeeze the arms towards straight without losing a sense of expansiveness in the chest for another 3, and 2, and 1. Standing tall. Sweep the arms up. Inhale and exhale, folding forward. Halfway lift, inhale and exhale. Step back into plank pose. High push-up position. Back of the skull nice and long. And now dip the right knee down or to hover, tap, and then the left. Let's do that 4 more times each side. And the pockets of fire will be happy to do standing sequence after this. And then downward facing dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and step your right foot forward, spin the back foot flat. I'll turn around. Warrior dog. So walk your hands to about the left diagonal here. Either hands flat on the ground, or you're on your fingertips. Pull the outer right hip back. Breathe here. Back leg is a strong standing leg for 3, 2, 1. Left hand to left hip. Best you can, come up in one knee. Warrior 2. Find your feet. Nice. Reorientate yourself in space. Now bend the right elbow across your chest and left hand or left forearm, somewhere in between your right shoulder and your right elbow. And now energetically, mindfully, pull the right upper arm bone towards the back body. You might feel more of a stretch on the right shoulder. Now you're going to stay here or eagle arms. So the right elbow will stay on top. Either hold on to opposite shoulder with opposite hand, or bring the back of the hands together, or cross at the wrist and palms together. Now squeeze the elbows together and lift the elbows up. Keep squeezing the elbows together and lower the elbows down. Let's do that about 4 or 5 more times. Squeeze the elbows together and then lower them down. Rhythm of your own breath. So still maintaining a sense of pressing the ground away with your feet and a sense of buoyancy and spaciousness in the inner body. And then after your last round, release your arms, let them float to the side. Right forearm rests on the right thigh. Reach the left arm up. And now flip the left palm back, bend the left elbow, back of your left hand, back of the waist or towards your inner right thigh. Now keep pressing down through the feet and let the bowling ball of your head go. Right shoulder from right ear. So the gaze might be more down. It might be sideways, but just let the brain go. You might be able to feel a nice stretch between your left shoulder and your left ear. You could also play around with where you're gazing, but let your head go for 3, 2, 1. Slowly releasing, left arm up. And now reverse. Left hand to left hip or left thigh or lightly on the left shin. Right, meeting yourself where you are. That's the yoga, meeting yourself where you are. Often, yes, yes, yes. Make sure you're saying no to serve your greater yes. Often less is more. Lift the front of your right hip bone for 3, 2, and 1. Straight out that front leg. Okay, triangle pose. Take your hands to your hips for a moment. From your hips, you can use your hands to assist the feeling of this. From the 2 halves of your pelvis, root down through your feet, top of the right thigh bone back, and then right hand, let's say higher up today. Left arm up to the sky. Flip your left palm to the right, to the front of the mat, and then bring left bicep over your left ear. Now stay strong through your legs, Get a little bit more puffy through the left side of your body. And we'll play here by turning your gaze and your heart more towards the right foot and then opening up. About 3 more times like that. 3 more times. Playing around, so we're directing more to the side seam of the body, maybe a little bit more to the back side, top sideways. And after the last round, left arm up and the right knee, warrior 2. Hands to your hips again, straighten the right leg. Bring your feet parallel to each other. Again, pressing down. Again, you can shorten the stance if you need. press down with your hands, hinging at your hips, taking your favorite forward fold here. You can allow it to be dynamic if you want. I can bend both knees, reach your tailbone back as you straighten the arms, come into a halfway lift. And as you exhale, bend the elbows back, lengthen the legs. So feel free, your choice, either keep it pretty static or more dynamic. For another 3, 2, and 1. Halfway lift, we'll all meet and then walk your hands to the original front of the mat. Step it back into plank pose, pause and breathe here, change directions. For another 3, 2, nice, and 1. Shift the weight slightly forward, lower the knees down, lowering all the way down. Okay, prop up onto your left elbow, left forearm parallel to the front edge of the mat. So for this variation, start with the left elbow. Might have to scoot back. Left elbow in front of the left shoulder. Prop yourself up, bring your legs close together, bend your right knee. You can use a strap for this, or reach back for the inside of your right foot. Pressing the top of the left foot down, drop the pubic bone down, and press the left elbow, left hand, left forearm down. Keep the chest lifted, but back of the skull long, and then press the right foot up and back into your right hand. And spin your inner body more to the front of the mat. Yeah. For another 3, 2, and 1. Mindfully as you can. Releasing, forehead to the ground. Curl your toes under and press yourself up into that supported plank and transition however you like into downward facing dog. Shaking the head out. And inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, other side, left foot forward, spin the back foot flat, warrior dog. So find your power on the path where your feet pull the outer left hip back. Resist collapsing in that back inner thigh. And again, breathing into the side seam of your body for another 3, 2, and 1. Right hand to right hip, best you can, coming up into 1, coming up in 1 piece, warrior 2, making adjustments that you need. Again, press to the feet and lift the sides of your body so the inner body is nice and buoyant. Left elbow bends across your chest, and then right forearm or right hand in between the elbow and the shoulder. And then maintain that resistance, plug the upper left arm bone back until you begin to feel a mindful stretch here. Keep pressing through your feet, sides of the waist back. You'll stay here, or eagle arms, left elbow stays on top. A little self-love, opposite hand, opposite shoulder, or back of the hands touch, or cross at the wrist. Now press the elbows together and then lower the elbows down and lift up. About 4, 5 more times. Own breath. Keep pressing the elbows together so that resistance might bring more of a sense, might intensify the sensation. It's also maintaining more integrity in the shoulder girdle. And the last round, we'll bring it to center. Let the arms float to the sides. And extended side angle, left forearm rests on the right thigh. Right arm up, flip the palm back. Bend the elbow. You got your own back here, back sideways. Let the bowling ball of your head go. So the lower body is stable. It's working. I probably didn't have to tell you that. Can you still invite in, not even still, can you, because it's a practice, invite in a sense of letting go and softness in between your right ear, right shoulder, the space in between your ears. For another 3, 2, and 1. Releasing right arm up. Reverse warrior, right hand to right hip or thigh or light fingertips. Make sure you're still maintaining enough space for you, for your breath. For 3, press to the feet, 2, and 1. Come on up, hands to hips, straighten out that front leg. Oh yeah, swing the arms, that's great. Use your hands to press the hips down. Press the 2 halves of the pelvis, press down through the feet. And see if you can have that back heel spinning more towards the back of the mat. Hinging at your left hip crease, left hand down to the ground, right arm up, right palm forward, right bicep over right ear. Press your feet, get nice and puffy, the right side of your body. I feel like it's like side body flossing. Turn your gaze and your chest slightly towards the front right corner of your mat, towards the left foot rather, and then open up. About 4 or 5 more times, exploring. So if there's any point in this exploration that you feel like needs more attention and awareness, linger there. And we'll meet in Warrior 2. Reach the right arm to the right, bend the front knee, straighten again. Hands to hips, feet parallel. Press the feet down and now interlace the hands again behind your back the awkward way. Bend the elbows, press thumbs into your sacrum. Lift your armpits, roll the collarbones open, and first press through the feet, strong legs. And then pull your hands energetically apart. Lift the fists from your bottom. Keep that. Hinge at your hip creases. Keep those legs super strong. You can stay here or squeezing your arms towards straight. Letting go. Lift the knuckles to the sky. Shoulders towards your hips for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Hands down to the ground, halfway lift. Walk your hands to the front. And step it back into plank pose, into high push-up position. We pause here. Broaden through the collarbones. Breathing for another 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees down, lower all the way down. This time, come up onto your right forearm. So right forearm, right elbow slightly in front of your shoulder. Bring your legs together. Bend your left knee. You can look over your left shoulder as you reach for the inner edge of your left foot. Press the top of the right foot down. Drop the pubic bone. Press the right forearm down. And then spin your inner body towards the front of the mat as you press your left foot up and back. Breathing here. Soften the ribs to the back body for 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Mindfully releasing. Forehead to the ground. Slide the hands back. Transition to down dog. So you can do that push up. And downward facing dog. Pedal out. Taking breaks whenever you need. And lift your heels. Bend your knees. Right foot steps forward. Hands to your hips. Bend the back knee. Get nice and bouncy as you press to the right heel. Through that right heel. Good. And find somewhere in between here. Finding your balance. Squeeze the outer hips in. Reach the arms up. Now take your right arm to the right and bring it towards the back of your waist. Kind of how we did in that extended side angle. And now flip your left palm back and left hand to the back of your head as you straighten the left leg, left heel back. And then curl over high bar. Allow your head to be supported. The back of your right hand is to your sacrum, left hand, even fingertips can be at the base of the skull as you lengthen the leg bones evenly away from each other from the core of the pelvis for another 3, 2, and 1. Mindfully as you can. Releasing the arms, bring your hands down to the ground. Walk your right foot a little bit more to the right, right hand inside of right foot. Back knee lowers down. Lizard-like pose here. Stay here, or you can lower down onto your forearms on the ground or block. For this variation, squeeze that right knee in towards your right shoulder. Breathing here and melt. Instead of pushing the top of the left thigh bone down to the ground, allow it to melt up and then extend out from there. Back of the skull nice and long. Don't let all this hip opening diminish your inner light. Broadening through the chest and breathing. For another 3, 2, and 1. Coming up onto your hands. Walk your right foot more towards center again. And then from there, hands on blocks or ground, bring the hips back and keep, best you can, the entire surface of your right foot on the ground. Stay here or flex the right ankle and then press the right heel. You might need to slide the right foot a little bit more forward. Press the right heel down and energetically drag it back. So energize the front of your right leg. You don't have to strive to get your forehead to your toes. Most important is to maintain enough space for your breath. For another 3, 2, and 1. Bend the right knee, right foot down. Might need to bring the left knee more forward. Hands on the mat. And now lift the left knee and slide your right foot halfway back. Right hand to right hip. Left wrist slightly in front of left shoulder. Turn all your toes to the right. And then right arm up to the sky. Stay here, bend the right elbow, right hand behind your head. Now stay here or lift the hips a little bit higher. Set the right foot behind you. Wild thing variation. Lift your sitting bones. Curl the back of the head, back of the heart back. Left shoulder, back of the heart for 3. Lift from your sitting bones. Bottom fibers of your tush. 2 and 1. Downward facing dog. Great child's pose. Way to play. Woo. Flutter the lips. And we get ready for plank pose. Breathe here. Now it'll feel like a resting pose. 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees down, lowering all the way down, forehead down. Cactus arms. Turn your head to the right. And on your next inhale, lift everything up, turn your head center. And lower down, turn your head to the left. Keep on keeping on. You're gonna do 2 more times each side. 2 more times each direction. Waking up the back body. And after your last round, we'll meet forehead center, slide the hands back, push yourself up. Downward facing dog. All right, last side for the stand-in series. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and step your left foot forward. Press through the feet, hands to hips. Hug the outer hips in and get nice and bouncy. Press through that front heel for another 3, 2, and 1. Finding your point of balance. Hug those outer hips in. Reach the arms up. And left arm to the left, flip the left palm back, the left hand. Sacrum, flip the right palm back, and then bend the elbow and hold on. Maybe even the base of the skull. Now straighten out that back leg as you lengthen the legs from the core of the pelvis. Curl over a high bar, not a low bar, a high bar. So you're lifting the space in between your shoulder blades for another 3, 2, lift the frontal hip points. And 1, slowly releasing the hands to the ground. Left foot to the left enough, left hand inside of left foot. Lower the back knee down. Some love for our hips. Stay here or onto forearms, block or ground. Melt the top of your right thigh bone up. Hug that left knee in, breathing here. And again, making sure you're taking a shape in which you can settle into yourself. You know, you've gone a bus stop too far if you are not breathing. So make sure leaving enough space for the life force to flow freely within you. For another 3, 2, and 1. Make your way onto your hands, left foot more towards center. You might need to slide the left foot slightly forward. Keep the entire surface of the sole of the left foot on the ground as you bring your hips back. Notice it's a totally different sensation. For another 3, 2, 1, stay here or flex the right ankle and toes, not just the toes. Explore what it's like to flex the entire left ankle, press the left heel down, and energetically drag it back. Strengthen the front of the left leg. Breathe here. Belly and wrists soften to the back body. Another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly walking the hands back. You may need to slide your left foot more in towards you or bring the right knee more forward. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, left foot halfway back, so about below your left hip. Right wrist slightly in front of right shoulder, left hand to left hip. So don't worry, make sure you readjust if you need to here. And then turn all your toes to the left. Press to the left foot and then lift the bottom hip up higher. Spin your right bicep to the front of the mat, left arm up. Stay here, left hand behind your head. Stay here or step the left foot behind you and then lift from the bottom fibers of your glutes. Right shoulder back of the heart, wild thing. Curling over again, a high bar for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Down dog, pedal it out. And then child's pose, whichever variation you like. Could be a nice release for the shoulders to sweep your arms back, palms up. Rock your forehead side to side. Allow your breath to settle. Stay here as long as you like, or sweep the arms forward, hands and knees. Cross at your ankles, or sweep your feet around onto our backs. Just noticing how your attitude may have shifted once you're on your back. Let's bring the arms out to the side, right knee and left knee in over the hips. And then lower your knees to the left. Right hand can rest wherever you like, outer right thigh, or maybe the back of the waist. You can turn your head to the right. Allow your breath to settle. And slowly bring it to center, switching sides, knees to the right, turn your head to the left, right hand on the outer left thigh or the back of the waist. Beginning to give the weight of your body to the ground. And slowly bring it back to center. Any variation, a happy baby you like, or any other pose that feels good to you, yogi's choice. So you can keep the soles of the feet together, bring them closer in towards your groins or your face, or separate your feet, holding onto big toes, ankles, or outer edges of your feet, and rock my baby side to side. And then slowly releasing into your resting pose. Short but sweet resting pose. You can extend the legs out. Feel free to take up lots of space. Feel free to take up lots of space. Any shape you like. It can also be on your back, on your stomach or on your side. You are supported. Soften the space in between your ears. As you melt the front of your brain, the middle of your brain, and middle of the brain to the back of the brain, all the way down to the ground. And noticing any unnecessary tension that you may still be holding in your body. For me lately, I feel it's my face, right? This pressure sometimes to maintain some kind of brave face, keeping your chin up, or trying to wrap your head around the craziness, any challenging situations. Allow this Shavasana to be a soft, melting face opportunity. Invite, again, more space in between your top and bottom teeth as you unhinge your jaw, especially the back teeth, your molars. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. As you allow the roof of your mouth to soften and broaden. And allow the bottom of your mouth, where your tongue is resting, to also melt and release and widen. Soften your nostrils, softening your eyeballs, even your ears. And stay here as long as you are able, as long as you can. If not, wiggle fingers and toes as you deepen your breath. Circle your wrists and your ankles, turning your head gently side to side. And then with awareness, bring your legs closer together, bending one knee and the other. Gather your knees into your chest with your hands or your arms. Give yourself a big hug of gratitude for investing this time on your mat, for this radical act of self-care. And with awareness, roll on over to whatever side calls to you. Pause. Head is the last thing to come on up as you make your way to a comfortable seated position. Eyes can be closed or soft gaze. Overlap your hands on top of your heart. Think of one thing in your life that you are grateful for, no matter how big or small. Let's end together one cleansing breath. First, empty out all the air from your lungs. Inhale through your nose, fill on up. Exhale, ha. And as always, gratitude for practicing together. May it all be of benefit to us and everybody else around us. Namaste.